Here we are with Tony Fletcher, coordinator of the Nicholson McLaren British Hillclimb Championship. Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Loton Park and its association with Hagley?
Well, Loton Park actually started in 1960. Hagley took it over in 1970 and it's been going ever since with Hagley. I've been associated since 1970 with the venue.
Mm-hmm. It's a venue that's looking very good these days in terms of the amount of work that's been done on the infrastructure.
The club is very good. Virtually any money the club makes is ploughed back into the venue. It's improving every year and something new happens every year for the benefit of the competitors and the spectators.
And at 1,350 metres, this is one of the longest venues in the country, I understand.
It is indeed. One of the best from a driver's point of view because it's very much a driver's hill.
Yeah, you're certainly right there. I mean, I've driven this venue myself and it takes some learning.
Nobody comes here first time and wins classes and things like that. It's not done.
So we might know that experience counts here, but young guys like Robert Kenrick and Scott Moran as well, doing very, very well here today, but they've been around for a while now.
They've been around here for a long time because they cut their teeth at Loton Park before they ever went travelling the rest of the country. So yes, they know the hill well.
Here we are in the middle of the day. Excellent run-off this morning.
Oh, it was.
More to look forward to this afternoon, I think.
Let's hope so. I mean, that was a tremendous hill record, and we've had, I think, 5 class records as well. So let's hope the weather stays as it is and get some more good sport this afternoon.
Earlier in the day, we spoke to Annie Goodyear. Annie used to share a 2-litre pill beam with husband Mark Goodyear, who we've seen driving an OMS. These days that pill beam is driven by Steve Day and Ash Mason. Ash, you used to drive a Westfield here and you were the record holder at this venue. How do you find the contrast with your new pill beam?
Finding the pill beam an easier car to drive. The Westfield was quite lively, predominantly because it was a road-based car. Didn't have any benefit of slicks or wings. This is a much purer chassis, much easier to drive. It's more arrow-like, it doesn't try and change direction quickly on you for no reason. Lots of grip. Very nice car to drive.
So you're enjoying the single-seater thoroughbred aspect of the competition?
Yeah, it's been a good move for us, a good change. It was time for us to move on from the old class and leave some space for the other guys and try and muscle in with these guys.
Well, certainly it's a very competitive class, isn't it?
Very strong class, yeah. Paul Hames has just been out and broken the records. We're just over a second behind him. Better than we expected to be, but that's a good day for us.
Steve, how about from your point of view, sharing the car with Ash? What about setup and developing the car and getting a balance between your two styles?
It's a very good combination actually, because I'm renowned for being completely non-technical, so I like to get in and drive it, and I'm allowed to adjust the tyre pressures and refuel it. Ash does all the technical bits and pieces and it works extremely well actually, so yeah, we're enjoying actually working as a team. The feedback is very good.
So you prefer not to have an opinion and just drive the car as hard as you can?
Yeah, that seems to be the way that we work it, yeah. I can say what it's doing, but I don't know how to tweak it, so that is quite a good solution we find.
Well, it seems like a unique combination and a partnership that should work very well.
Well, hopefully, yeah. It is
certainly
going well, yeah.
Less arguments and varied opinions in that respect.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to pick up any tools, anything more than probably a screwdriver to undo these used clips. That's about it, really.
Guys, we wish you luck this afternoon and a very competitive run. James, the first run-off for your dad wasn't so successful as normal, was it? What happened there?
Well, he was sort of coming out of keepers and all 4 wheels sort of came onto the grass. Mm-hmm. And it was going very well up to then, which was very annoying. So
it certainly was, because he did a good split time, didn't he, going up to triangle. So you know the record run was on.
Yeah.
Just went a little wide at keepers, and that was it. Lost it.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was impressed that he kept the boot in and finished up getting still a pretty good time, considering having gone off.
Yeah. But still no points, and he's been overtaken by I think 3 or 2 people.
Really?
In the championship now, but hopefully he can get it back in the second round.
Don't get the idea that this British Championship Hillclimb meeting is all about single-seaters. One of several record breakers on the day was Martin Pike, who reset his own 2-litre saloon car standard by half a second in this rapid Mark 1 Escort crossflow. And the twin-turbo 4-wheel drive Dialinks Audi S4 of Roger Banks lowered sparring partner Robert Harriman's big saloon record by a quarter of a second. Back with the British Championship contenders, former rally driver Iron Price leaves his braking as late as possible for Fallow in his OMS Suzuki. The run was good enough to snatch a class second from Tim Wilson, but as always, the man in charge was Robert Kenrick. Unbelievably fast through keepers and out onto the straight, Kenrick had already set a new class record on 47.01 before that amazing sub-47 shot in the opening runoff. Not quite as fast this time, Kenrick's still quick enough to make the British Championship Cup for the second time today. Paul Haynes has already set a new record on his first class run and does it again to make the runoff cut in the afternoon. It's just not rival Tom New's day today, and he has to settle for second in class. And Robert Kenrick bumps him out of the runoff by 1/100th of a second. Earlier we joined Kenrick for a ride up Loton Park in his Force Hayabusa. Now with almost 3 times the power, let's take a trip with Paul Ranson in his Nicholson McLaren V8 powered Gould. Well, by any standards this is a pretty quick run, but such is the pace this afternoon that even with a 46.68, Ransom will only qualify 8th. Roger Moran again, and the man who scored his first ever outright win on his home hill with an Escort rally car almost 20 years ago, is now in charge of one of the fastest hill climb cars in the country. He'll be quite happy with the 4th place qualifier. Now Andy Coley charges into Fallow, but it's a shade too quick. He spins the V6 Gould and it's cost him a place in the runoff. Alistair Crawford's Gould is the first GR37 ever built at the Newbury Works. It's the very same chassis that took David Grace to 3 consecutive British titles in the late 1990s. Now running a Judd V8 instead of the Cosworth DFR that Grace used, Crawford aims to make the cut for the second time this year. Set on repeating his great performance in the opening runoff, Jos Goodyear gets the first stage under his belt by qualifying 5th for round 12, but the vastly experienced Rob Turnbull, whose Gould Cosworth HB has been dogged for much of the season by an intermittent misfire, fails to make the cut. Basil Pitt has had a pretty good year so far, just missing out on a first ever British win at Gurston Down last month. In the points again in this morning's runoff, he boosts his chances for round 12 by qualifying a 2.8 litre Gould V8 in 6th place. Top qualifier this morning, Trevor Willis is determined to maintain his 2nd place overall in the championship. It's another storming run from the Aylesbury driver, but he doesn't quite make top spot on the cue sheets this time. That honour goes to this man, Chris Merrick, who follows up his fine morning qualifier by planting the Gould Judd firmly on the top of the list with a 45.77. So can Martin Groves topple Merrick's top qualifier? Let's try with the 3 times British champion and find out. Well, the answer to that question is no. Groves 46.65 is just 0.03 quicker than co-driver Ranson. They've made the cut, but they're off the pace, just 7th and 8th. So it's a delighted Chris Merrick that leads the way into a British runoff for the very first time, heading the two top men in this year's title chase, Trevor Willis and Scott Moran. Can Merrick capitalise? And can Groves recover from that 7th place qualifying spot? Join us again after the break.